To worship on Sundays, we always pause to lift up the sorrows and celebrations that shape our lives. Some do that by writing a short message, and this morning as something different, some did that by dropping a stone into the vase of water. No one wrote messages to share today, but there are a few stones in our vase here, and undoubtedly unspoken joys and sorrows in our midst. So I invite you to join me in reading our congregational response to those. For your joys, we join you in celebration. For your sorrows and concerns, may you feel our compassion. For all that is spoken and unspoken, may the caring of our beloved community sustain you. This morning, for our Time for All Ages, Caitlin has a story for our young and young at heart. If you're not over on the playground, I'm going to invite you to come up front, and we've saved this front bench just for you.
Alright, where the forest meets the sea. My father knows a place we can only reach by boat. Not many people go there, and you have to know the way through the reef. When we arrive, cockatoos rise from the forest in a sparkling cloud. Or squawking cloud, excuse me. My father says there has been a forest here for over 100 million years. My father says there used to be crocodiles here and kangaroos that lived in trees. Maybe there still are. I follow a creek into the rainforest. I pretend it is 100 million years ago. On the bank of the creek, the vines and creepers try to hold me back. I push through. Now the forest lets me walk in. I sit very still and watch and listen. I wonder how long it takes the trees to grow to the top of the forest. I find an ancient tree. It is hollow. Perhaps Aboriginal forest children played here too. I climb inside the tree. It's dark, but the twisted roots make windows. This is a good place to hide. It's time to go and find my father. I think I hear the sea. I walk towards the sound. My father has made a fire and is cooking the fish he caught. I like fish cooked this way, but then I feel sad because the day is gone so quickly. My father says we'll come here again someday. But will the forest still be here when we come back? And I am happy to say that it is still there. This book was written in 1987, and it's about the Daintree rainforest, which is in northern Australia. And I looked it up this morning, and the acreage is exactly the same now as it was in 1987. So that is a good thing. So you can't see it, but in this picture, it has, behind the art is basically buildings and towers and cell towers and all what it could have looked like had they not saved it. So anyway, that is our story for all ages. And now I think we're following the Green Sanctuary. Can we follow you? All right, guys, this is Marcia. We're going to follow Marcia. Here, follow me.
Go on our scout. Everybody gets on.
where the wind blows her out. Till dawn comes to call her out from under the bushes, and she wanders the streets with the punks and the pushers. She's a panhandle lady. The world has forgotten it's a long way from Woodstock to the corner. She remembers a time she went dancing through rainbows when the Grateful Dead played for free in the meadows. She came from Virginia. She calls herself Trudy. She was young and alive, an American beauty. Now she reaches for courage with a brown bag of gravel. This chilly winds blowing in the city, but she will rise, rise, rise on that old road to glory from the sacred ground. She will rise, rise, rise. She's just taken a long way home. So let's try that. She will rise, rise, rise on that old road to glory. On that old road to glory from the sacred ground. She will rise, rise, rise. She's just taken the long way home. It was a summer of love, time when the children came together as one. The innocent pilgrims in their old vans and buses came to the city, and bands and beads they were dancing and singing. There was love at the hip, Zodiac turning and marijuana burning on the corner. Trudy was there. She had an old mansion called Bobby. They were eager to share. They relied in the poppies with their brothers and sisters who were looking for freedom, and their family dog could be called on if needed. But Trudy went crazy when the acid came crashing to the hearts and the minds of the dreamers. She will rise, rise, rise on that old road to glory from the sacred ground. She will rise, rise, rise. She's just taken a long way home. She hides from the storms in the Golden Gate heather. There's room in the shelter, but Trudy don't want it. She stays in the park where she waits for nirvana. She's lost in the flowers, alone on the mountain while the age of Aquarius is dawning. But she will rise, rise, on that old road to glory from the sacred ground. She will rise, rise, rise. She's just taking a long way home. She will rise, rise, rise. She's just taking a long way home.
Thank you, Richard. As we gather in this special place, let's take a moment to love and be loved by nature. Feel the warmth of the sun and the refreshing breeze and maybe a few insect friends that join us today. See the deep green around us that greets us. That ability to transform the sun's rays into energy is the foundation of our own lives. Let us be thankful. Hear the kids, the birds, the breeze, the shifting of the people next to you. This moment is full of life. What a gift it is to be held in this web of creation. For just a moment, let us sit back and enjoy the silence of a moment in life in this beauty. Namaste. Amen and blessed be. This morning, in lieu of a poem, there's a lot of distraction for a 20-minute talk. We're going to do something a little bit different and enjoy some poetry about nature and our relationship to it. I've invited a couple of other people to join me in the reading to mix up the voices. So this first poem is by Mary Oliver. It's called Why I Wake Early. Hello, sun in my face. Hello, you who make the morning and spread it over the fields, and into the faces of the tulips, and the nodding morning glories, and into the windows of even the miserable and the crotchety. Best preacher that ever was, dear star that just happens to be where you are in the universe, to keep us from ever darkness, to ease us with warm touching, to hold us in the great hands of light. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Watch now how I start the day in happiness and kindness.
This is by D.H. Lawrence. When we get out of the glass bottles of our ego, and when we escape like squirrels turning in the cages of our personality and get into the forest again, we shall shiver with cold and fright that things will happen to us, so that we don't know ourselves. Cool, unlying life will rush in, and passion will make our bodies taut with power. We shall stamp our feet with the new power, and old things will fall down. We shall laugh, and institutions will curl up like burnt paper.
This is by Allen Ginsberg. Too much industry, too much eats, too much beer, too much cigarettes, too much philosophy, too many thought forms, not enough rooms, not enough trees, too much police, too much computers, too much hi-fi, too much pork, too much coffee, too much smoking, under slate gray roofs, too much obedience, too many bellies, too many business suits, too much paperwork, too many magazines, too much industry, no fish in the Rhine, Lorelei poisoned, too much embarrassment, too many fatigued workers on the train, ghost Jews scream on the street corner, too much old murder, too much white torture, too much one Stomheim, too many happy Nazis, too many crazy students, not enough farms, not enough apple trees, not enough nut trees, too much money, too many poor, Turks without vote, guests do the work, too much metal, too much fat, too many jokes, not enough meditation.
This is by Mary Oliver. It's called The Lover of Earth Cannot Help Himself or Herself. In summer, through the fields of wild mustard, then goldenrod, I walk, brushing the wicks of their bodies and the bright hair of their heads. And in fact, I lie down that the little weightless pieces of gold may float over me, shining in the air, falling in my hair, touching my face. Ah, sweet-smelling, glossy, and colorful world, I say, even as I begin to feel my left eye, then the right eye begin to burn and twitch and grow very large, even as I begin to weep, to sneeze in this irrepressible seizure of summer love.
These next three poems I selected as a celebration of the elements of nature. This first one is by Paula Gunn Allen. Water. Lakes and rivers, oceans and streams, springs, pools and gullies, arroyos, creeks, watersheds, Pacific, Atlantic, Mediterranean, Indian, Caribbean, China Sea, lying, dreaming on shallow shores, Arctic, Antarctic, Baltic, Mississippi, Amazon, Columbia, Nile, Thames, Sacramento, Snake, undulating Woman River, Seine, Rio Grande, Willamette, Mackenzie, Ohio, Hudson, Po, Rhine, Rhone, rain after a lifetime of drought that finally cleanses the air, the soot from our eyes, the dingy windows of our western home, the rooftops and branches, the wings of birds, the new light on a slant, pouring, making everything new.
To see the greatness of a mountain, one must keep one's distance. To understand its form, one must move around it. To experience its moods, one must see it at sunrise and sunset, at noon and at midnight, in sun and in rain, in snow and in storm, in summer and in winter, and in all other seasons. He who can see the mountain like this comes near to the life of the mountain. Mountains grow and decay, they breathe and pulsate with life. They attract and collect invisible energies from their surroundings, the forces of air, of the water, of electricity and magnetism. They create winds, clouds, thunderstorms, rain, waterfall, and rivers. They fill their surroundings with active life and give shelter and food to innumerable beings, such as the greatness of mighty mountains.
This is by Gerard Manley Hopkins. Wild air, world-mothering air, nestling me everywhere, that each eyelash or hair girdles, goes home betwixt the fleeciest, frailest, flixt, snowflake that's fairly mixed, with riddles and its rife, in every least thing's life, this needful never spent and nursing element, my more than meat and drink, my meal at every wink, this air, which by life's law, my lung must draw and draw, now but to breathe its praise.
So these next three poems are all by Mary Oliver, and they're all poems that she has written about birds.
Oh, to love what is lovely and will not last. What a task to ask of anything or anyone. Yet it is ours, and not by the century or the year, but by the hours. One fall day I heard above me and above the sting of the wind a sound I did not know, and my look shot upward. It was a flock of snow geese winging it faster than the ones we usually see, and being the color of snow catching the sun. So they were, in part at least, golden. I held my breath, as we do sometimes to stop time when something wonderful has touched us, as with a match which is lit and bright, but does not hurt in the common way, but delightfully, as if delight were the most serious thing you ever felt. The geese flew on. I have never seen them again. Maybe I will, someday, somewhere. Maybe I won't. It doesn't matter. What matters is that when I saw them, as though through the veil, secretly, joyfully, clearly.
So this is the marsh hawk. The marsh hawk doesn't, as other hawks do, work his wings, like soft hinges to make progress over the morning march, but merely, or so it seems, lays his breast upon the air, and the air, as if understanding, floats him along with his wings open and raised just a little, beyond the horizontal, in thanks perhaps, to the great crystal carrier of leaves and clouds, of everything. And even though his shadow follows exactly his every tilt and flow, and even though he must know that hunger will win, he doesn't hurry, but floats in wide circles as he gazes into the marshes below his hard beak, and the hooks of his feet, as though wanting something more lasting than meat. At noon, he's still there, above the brambles, the grass, the flat water, where in their almost stately disengagement, the indelible dampness and darkness shine.
The wren from Carolina. Just now the wren from Carolina buzzed through the neighbor's hedge, a line of grace notes I couldn't even write down, much less sing. Now he lifts his chestnut-colored throat and delivers such a cantering praise. For what? For the early morning, the taste of a spider? For his small cup of life that he drinks from every day, knowing it will refill? All things are inventions of holiness, some more rascally than others. I'm on that list too, though I don't know exactly where. But every morning, there's my own cup of gladness, and there's that wren in the hedge above me with his blazing song.
Yellow legs. With 3 sharp cries, each one the shape of a rainbow, Yellow Legs comes on fast wings to the place of the little waves and the little fish. It has dapples too many to count, and a long neck, and a bright eye, and knees like yellow rosebuds just beginning to open. The water is blue or transparent. The fish are almost invisible, but their dark shadows fly just above the sand at the bottom of the cold water. They are too many to count. So many, plus 2 or 3 that have vanished already into Yellow Legs' long, slightly curved twig of a beak. 2 or 3, enough to satisfy the appetite, all the difference between nothing and everything, all this ocean, this world.
This reading is from the book of Deuteronomy. For the Lord your God is bringing you into a good land, a land of flowing streams with springs and underground waters welling up in valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley, of vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive trees and honey, a land where you may eat bread without scarcity, where you will lack nothing, a land whose stones are iron, and from whose hills you may mine copper. You shall eat your fill, and bless the Lord your God for the good land he has given you.
This poem by Nancy Wood may sound familiar. It's actually in our hymnals, but I found it somewhere else, which is always fun. My help is in the mountain, where I take myself to heal the earthly wounds that people give to me. I find a rock with sun on it, and a stream where the water runs gentle, and the trees which, one by one, give me company. So must I stay for a long time, until I've grown from the rock, and the stream is running through me, and I cannot tell myself from one tall tree. Then I know that nothing touches me, nor makes me run away. My help is in the mountain, that I take a wave with me. Earth, cure me. Earth, receive my woe. Rock, strengthen me. Rock, receive my weakness. Rain, wash away my sadness. Rain, receive my doubt. Sun, make sweet my song. Sun, receive the anger from my heart.
And this closing is by Wendell Berry. So friends, every day do something that won't compute. Love the Lord. Love the world. Work for nothing. Take all you have and be poor. Love someone who does not deserve it. Denounce the government and embrace the flag. Hope to live in that free republic for which it stands. Give your approval to all you cannot understand. Praise ignorance, for what man has not encountered, he has not destroyed. Ask the question that have no answers. Invest in the millennium. Plant sequoias. Say that your main crop is the forest that you did not plant, that you will not live to harvest. So that the leaves are harvested when they have rotted into the mold. Call that profit. Prophecy such returns. Put your faith in the 2 inches of humus that will build under the trees every 1,000 years. Listen to carrion. Put your ear close and hear the faint chattering of the songs that are to come. Expect the end of the world. Laugh. Laughter is immeasurable. Be joyful, though you have considered all the facts. So long as women do not go cheap for power, please women more than men. Ask yourself, will this satisfy a woman satisfied to bear a child? Will this disturb the sleep of a woman near to giving birth? Go with your love to the fields. Lie easy in the shade. Rest your head in her lap. Swear allegiance to what is nighest your thoughts. As soon as the generals and the politicos can predict the motions of your mind, lose it. Leave it as a sign to mark the false trail, the way you didn't go. Be like the fox who makes more tracks than necessary, some in the wrong direction. Practice resurrection.
As we extinguish this flame, let us remember all of the wonders that move us and make us feel alive and make us dream and make us wonder. Let us protect everyone's children and grandchildren for generations upon generations so that they will also have the chance to look beyond the horizon and marvel at the wonder of existence and continue to be nourished by our home, the earth.
Would you take the hand of someone near you for just a moment for these closing words? May the firmness of the earth be yours. May the flow of the water be yours. May the freedom of the air be yours. May the fierceness of fire be yours. May all the gifts of this life, all below and above, be with you now and in the days to come. Now go in peace and let the light within you be a blessing to the world.